Albert Awol, the voice of the jungle, broadcasting on the DVC to all points unknown. If you're within the sound of my voice, you're listening to Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
Hello and welcome home. Thank you for joining us on episode 134 of Welcome Home, a Disney Parks and Vacation Club podcast. I'm Tom. I'm here with Trevor and Damon. What's up, guys?
I don't know. I have to see if this episode does more than the one with Becky. I think I'm kind of like... I'm calling this the biggest episode of the year. How's that? I think this is going to do the most numbers of the year.
Are you just hyping, though? Like, are you just...
I don't know. I don't know. We're going to see, I guess.
Yeah, there are definitely some people interested in listening to how FootGolf went, so.
And how the Wyndham went, so it'll be interesting.
Yeah,
what were you going to say, Trevor?
I was going to say, I have no idea what Damon's going to talk about here, so yeah, we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, we really don't know. Damon didn't tell us that much, actually.
I don't really like them that much, so I don't talk to them that often. No, I kid. Actually, I was talking to him when I was down there, but I tried to hold everything as kind of a secret. I know people even asked in the group, but you know, what would be the point of the podcast if we answered everything in the group?
That's true. That's true. That's true. And I know, Trevor, you kind of hit a milestone here and wanted to talk about that before we got started with the show.
Yeah. So I know you guys down in the States, this is like months old news, but we literally this week, I got my son his second vaccine shot, and I know it sounds, or, you know, it is a big deal. It's absolutely a big deal. But for me, it kind of unlocked something in my head that I realized that me actually going to Disney is real now because because, you know, the thing is that you know, we've been planning and rescheduling our trips. And I think, you know, maybe for people who are international, this, you know, hopefully this resonates a little bit more, is that, you know, getting past these hurdles and, you know, not having all the extra stuff in the way, like being fully vaccinated means we can skip quarantine and all that coming back, which, again, that's a huge thing. And, you know, hopefully going into February, nothing else happens before then that will stop the trip. But, yeah, I'm actually like super excited now, and it's kind of renewed my desire to like jump back into doing Disney stuff. Like I'll admit, for a while there, I wasn't like feeling it, so to speak. It, you know, it's because it felt so far away and it felt so difficult to get to. No, so yeah, like I said, no, I'm really happy now, because as an international traveler, a lot of the barriers have now been removed for me to get back to Disney. So yeah,
that's great. It's great news.
Yeah, it's difficult because my daughter's 11, so not, you know, able to get the vaccine, which it's made it a little bit more difficult.
Yeah,
I feel like.
No, I get that too. My brother's in the same boat. He has two girls under 10, so, you know, I understand that, Damon.
Yeah. All right, well, that's good news, Trevor. So let's talk shirts real quick. So
sure.
let's say thank you for the outpouring of support. Again, the shirts, while they are cool looking, they're also support for the podcast, which is helpful for us because we like to do things for you. Before this episode started, we were talking about what our plans are for the listeners going forward in terms of Patreon, in terms of the holidays. I mean, I know last year we did some bag giveaways. I would expect something similar before the holidays, kind of like we did last time. And the money gets funneled into that, which is great, because that's, you know, again, part of what we do here. It's fun for us, but we also want to make it fun for the listeners. So what we are doing is we are going to keep shirt orders open to either 200 orders or August 1st. That is it. After that, if we don't hit 200, we will shut it down regardless. These are exclusive shirts. We plan on doing something similar, and we have definitely listened to the feedback. I would expect the next iteration of the shirt to be before the holidays. I wouldn't expect it to be right away, and it will probably take into account a lot of the feedback we got. And so I would expect to see a non-full ink type shirt from us as that second episode. But thank you everyone for the orders. Like I said, please keep the orders coming. I mean, even if you don't love the, you know, stuff, I mean, it is support for the podcast, kind of for what we do to help you.
Damon, we should mention not everybody that listens to the podcast follows us on Facebook or is in the group. So
So what we did is if you want to go buy a shirt, you can type haunted.welcomehomepodcast.com. That's one of the easier ways to get to it. And, go check them out. And like I said, thank you, everybody.
Yeah, haunted welcomehomepodcast.com.
I'm gonna have it in the show notes, I think.
Yeah, I'll put it in the show notes. So it's
Yeah.
It's for our Haunted River Country shirts, which we did finally finish and put out there. We do have a lot of options. Well, not a lot of options. We have some options as far as apparel goes. We have a women's specific shirt. We have a tri-blend. We've got a standard regular shirt. We've got a pullover sweatshirt, and we got a zip up hoodie. So, and they all look great. They're really nice looking. So go check them out. Check out the store and purchase one if you want. Like Damon said, we'll have them for a limited time here, just for the next couple weeks, or until we hit 200, which is approaching too. So
yep, definitely.
That's another thing that we need to
and. Yeah, and I've heard from some people that, again, that are on vacation, that they will be getting them when they come back, which is always nice. And I think that, there was unfortunately some color size issues. And, again, we do the best we can with Teespring. So we will continue to monitor that and see if, what we do for the second shirt as well, if it's Teespring or not. But so far, so good.
Yeah, and I know there were a couple people that were mentioning they didn't have a lot of extra tall options, and I think it's hard sometimes. A lot of those t-shirt companies don't have options, but they only have like limited colors and limited sizes. So we did our best to offer the most variety possible.
And trust me, we looked everywhere.
We
do.
I spent hours looking at different t-shirt sites.
And obviously that was a lot of the delay, right? Was us trying to find the best option for you guys. So hopefully we can address some of these issues.
Yep.
Yeah, but so again, haunted.welcomehomepodcast.com. I will put it in the show notes, so you can go check that out and order those. I'll mention too that the regular shirts are priced at $26, the men's and the women's shirts. And the tri-blend's a little more expensive at $30, but then we have also the sweatshirt is $45 and the zip-up hoodie's $50. So, go ahead. Sorry, Damon.
No, I was just going to say, definitely check them out, and thank
Please
you, everybody. All right, so let's talk FootGolf and my trip and all that, I guess.
Yeah, start from the beginning. Like, we want to hear all about the trip.
Well, first, let me just tell you about this was a last minute trip. We had tried to do DVC. We were kind of bouncing around between Hilton Head, Florida, or the cabins in Smoky Mountains over by Dollywood. We didn't plan on going to any of the parks. So again, it was tough. And we go to Hilton Head often. We actually have vacation plans for Hilton Head in August already. And actually, I think we booked another Hilton Head in October for Columbus Day. Yeah, we couldn't get DVC for any of this. So it was like, all right, what is our plan? So, we went back and forth. And I'd kind of given up a little bit for 4th of July weekend because I couldn't find anything. And then I was just like, you know what? Let's just see what's outside of Disney. And, we were able to look at a couple places, and the Wyndham was, probably priced the best for what we wanted. 5 people is a different ball game because, we think DVC and we think 5 is so easy, and it's not, right? A lot of places 5 is 2 rooms.
Yeah.
So that's a big problem for us. But let me just talk about what we forgot, right? Because when you make a quick trip, there was definitely things that we forgot. We forgot bottled water. I had just still recovering from surgery, so I can't really pick up a lot of heavy things. And what ended up happening was we have bottled water, throughout the house. We're on a communal well system. And again, we all drink water out of the fridge, and that's fine. But when we go somewhere, we like to bring bottled water just because, especially in the car. And for whatever reason, I know the reason, I just won't out anybody here. We did not bring enough water. That was tough because when you're down there purchasing water at $2.50 a bottle, it hurts your feelings. The other thing,
and your wallet.
Yeah, it definitely does. The other thing is we kind of missed out on some long charging cables because we just kind of jumped in the car sort of thing. Cups. We didn't have any cups, and it doesn't sound like you need cups. You need cups, but the biggest thing that we did not bring was bowls. Now, we brought cereal. We brought milk because we were driving. So, we have these super duper ice packs from Amazon that I feel like last forever, and we bring them. So we were able to bring milk, but we didn't have any bowls. So we're all eating Honey Nut Cheerios out of, the 2 hotel cups that were there. It was tough, man. It was tough.
So wait, did the room have like a kitchen, or is it just kind of like?
No. So it just had, a fridge. It just had a fridge, but that was,
Mini
like I
fridge
said,
kind of thing.
yeah, that was enough for us because we were only going down. So we, for a couple of days, we drove down on Saturday, stayed Sunday, and left Monday. That, again, it was a quick trip, super quick trip. Our goal was to play FootGolf, which we did, and not really much else because, again, right, my daughter wasn't vaccinated. We didn't do a lot, so. We get down there. Driving was brutal during the weekend. I didn't think it would be that bad, but I think we ended up at, I'll say 12 hours, man. It was tough.
Whoa.
Yeah. It was
a lot of traffic?
Yeah, there was a lot of traffic.
Yikes.
The other thing that we did this time too, and, again, it might just be the fact of kind of, recovery from surgery. I was usually always a person that would just try to bully through, no bathroom breaks, this, that, and the other thing. And this time it was like, yeah, I had to take a break from driving in general. So it was easier. We took longer breaks. And I have to say that even though it was 12 hours, it actually felt better than some of the 8.5-hour trips we've taken that seem so rushed, right? I think there was definitely a benefit to kind of breaking. So we stopped at Chick-fil-A.
Time, it felt like a little, yeah.
Well, and you know what the other thing is too? We do a lot because, again, I'm usually very aggressive on my time frame. But because we weren't going to the parks and it was a little bit of a more relaxing type vacation, I wasn't, pushing to get there. The other thing we normally do is we hit Chick-fil-A's, right? So we have them listed from 95 down and we just usually stop there. So we kind of get to know which ones, like we keep going to the same ones, right? So you're familiar with them.
Yeah.
And the one thing that we normally do is whoever's driving, we'll get gas, we'll get Chick-fil-A. Kids will eat in the car while, another person's driving. They'll get nuggets and the passenger will feed the driver nuggets. I didn't do any of that this time.
Yeah, we do that too, actually. That's
yeah. So,
or McDonald's, either one. But yeah, usually it's Chick-fil-A or McDonald's. So.
Yeah, so we just kind of totally just outs that and just kind of sat in the car, relaxed, recovered while we were eating. And honestly, even if it added an hour to the trip, it made the trip so much better. It really, really did. So I'm kind of on board for that, I think, going forward. So anyway, we get down there on Saturday and we go to check into the hotel. And again, it was funny. So I'm trying to limit, everyone going in. So I just went in myself. I happened to be wearing my Welcome Home podcast shirt, which I tend to do on check-in day. Right. And so the one thing that people have to understand is, whatever persona you feel that is given out here on the podcast, I'm a super charming person in person, and I'm sure that a lot of the people that, we talk to will say that that's usually the case. I put people at ease, right? Because I like to talk about anything and have a very varied sort of, intuitive nature about things. So anyway, so I get there and talking to the fellow that's checking us in, super nice guy, and just kind of, asking him about things like how the weekend is, how packed it is at the hotel. And I happened to mention to him it's our first time. And he said, "Oh, your first time?" I said, "Yeah." I said, normally we're DVC members. So we stay over at the parks, but because it was a holiday weekend and we were kind of booking late, there wasn't anything available. So he looks at my shirt and goes, "Oh, is that your podcast?" And I go, "Yeah, I do a podcast with a couple other guys." He goes, "Oh, well, do you want a free upgrade?" Okay. Right?
Who's going to say no to that, right?
Yeah, I'm not going to pass it up. So for anyone that thought otherwise, I mean, it was definitely an ask on their part. It was not an ask on my part.
We were joking about that because I just assumed that you went up and were like, I have a podcast. I think you should upgrade.
No,
VIP.
Yeah,
VIP.
He was like I said, he had asked me, and I said, "Yeah, no, of course." So what we ended up going with, so we had the rooms here, by the way, are really nice. So what our original room was a queen bed, a pull-out couch, and then 2 bunk beds, right? And it was I don't even know what the view was, probably parking lot. So what we ended up with is 2 queen beds, the 2 bunk beds, and a view of the parks for fireworks. Because that was one thing he did mention. He goes, "Oh, you're here for 4th of July. Do you want to see the fireworks?" And I was like, "Yeah, we're not going to the park." And he goes, "Oh, I'll give you a room where you can see them."
Jeez, this guy really hooked you up, man.
Yeah. So I tell you though that I was super impressed with the Wyndham. And again, first let's just talk about the actual bed situation. The bunk beds, when I had originally booked, I kind of thought to myself, all right, well, my daughter will stay with the bunk beds. The boys may have to double up on the couch and then me and my wife will take the bed, right? That was kind of the thought process. dude, these bunk beds are like twin longs. Okay.
Nice.
And that was interesting because I would not have expected that. And what it did was, this is really funny. So, my two boys just literally kicked my daughter out of the bunk beds. She was pretty upset. No, we're taking the bunk beds. And they're like, wait, she's like, what do you mean? Do I get to sleep in the bunk beds one night? And they're like, no. Because what was neat about the bunk beds is that they're in an alcove, right? Which is it's not a second room, but it's a second, like, area.
Private.
It's private, and it also has a TV. So what's kind of weird is it's literally two bunk beds in a closet that would fit two bunk beds with a TV on the wall, and they just loved it. Like, it was like the best thing ever. And I got in the bunk beds myself, and again, they were so long. They might even been like bigger than a twin long. Like, they were nice because, normally bunk beds come right up to the edge of the bed, and there was a little bit of a spacer, and I don't know. They were great. So the boys did those, and we were on the 11th floor, and gosh, is that up there? And gosh, can you see every park? So the downside,
really? You could see all the parks?
Oh yeah. And the Skyliner feels like at Caribbean Beach, feels like you could walk there. I said to my wife, dude, we could probably walk there. She's like, no, we can't, stop. And I was like, but it seems like it's right there. So it is overlooking the parks. And there was definitely, oh gosh, we're not going to the parks, but it wasn't a big deal for us, in terms of, kind of it. And here's the thing. We ate food in the hotel, so we just got room service, which is kind of nice. Their room service has there's a restaurant that provides room service, so we ordered there the first night, and it was good, and it was easy, right? They just bring it up to your room and you're done. Like, there's nothing to do, and that was definitely a benefit for us when we weren't really looking to do a lot of travel or going out or doing anything. And go ahead.
I have to say, Damon, I just pulled this up on just Google Maps because I wasn't aware of where it's located. You totally could have walked to Caribbean Beach. It's like right there.
Yeah, no, I'm sure we could have. We were like, we'll just ride the Skyliner for fun. And I was like,
you could have done it. Yeah,
we could have. We ended up getting, kind of busy because there is so much to do at the hotel. So I know some people had mentioned this was the reason they didn't DVC to start with. And I can kind of see that. There is a benefit to the hotel in terms of amenities and what to do, that I would say that there's not the same feel as a Disney hotel, but I think that there's more to do. So what we ended up doing is they have 2 mini golf courses free, right on site. You just walk down there, tell them what room number you are, and you play mini golf. We ended up doing that. There's 5 pools, 2 lazy rivers. And then there's also an area that we walked at. There's koi and bass in the ponds. Cause remember, this is around a lake, right? Yep. And the koi are beautiful and they're huge. And you can walk over this kind of suspended area that goes into the lake to kind of see them. But then there's another area where there's concerts. There was somebody playing music that was a little further away. If you kind of consider this all lake view, right? On the one side of the lake is the hotel, and it's kind of the sides of the lake are one right side is the rivers and stuff. And then there's also where the club people stay that have the, villa type things that are part of, Club Wyndham and all that. So, and then the far side is where you can kind of see this entertainment-y area. It's really nice. It's really nice. And I want to say for us, we ended up getting a pretty good deal per room. I want to say I paid around $300 a night, which is like nothing down there for 5 people.
For 5 people? Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, for 5 people. So it was set up really well. They do have shuttles to Disney, obviously not as often as you could get buses. And there were shuttles for things, and everyone was really nice, and the hotel was set up well. It is a tall hotel, so you will get some sort of right there. There is as you go through the hotel, you're going to be in contact with people. I mean, I was like a ninja the whole time. Anytime we needed anything, I'd put on my mask and I would just go myself. And I would wait for elevators and stuff like that, right? Because look, I would say when I was there, my family, and gosh darn, maybe a few other families were masked up, and that was it. So if that's your comfort level, right? I just did a lot of things myself and kind of ninjaed around when I needed to. So, I got everyone up to the room, and if we needed to go back to the car, I would just kind of go. So again, it's a high up there hotel, right? Floor 11. It was nice. So we got to see pretty much every fireworks that existed, right? You can see everything, but the ones from Disney Magic Kingdom are close enough to be enjoyable, right? Like the other ones you can kind of see and go, oh, okay, there's fireworks right there. But the Magic Kingdom ones are close. You obviously can't see the projections, but you can see all of the fireworks. And we saw all of the 4th of July fireworks from our room, and it was nice. It really was nice. And it was funny because the first night we were there, the fireworks were kind of far in the distance. I don't even know if that was what that was. Like, was it even Disney or Universal that we were seeing? Because there's fireworks, obviously, that weekend going on in a lot of different places. And I was kind of like, oh, those are the fireworks. Oh, that's real exciting. So me and the boys ended up going down to the gym. The gym was actually very nice, and they wanted to work out. So we went to the gym, and then we come back up, maybe it was 45 minutes later. My wife's like, oh, did you miss the really good fireworks? I'm like, wait, what do you mean I missed the good fireworks? She goes, oh, those fireworks in the beginning, those weren't the real fireworks. Magic Kingdom fireworks were later. Oh, okay. So then the next night, which was good that happened the first night so that we didn't miss the 4th of July fireworks.
Yeah, it looks like the resort faces directly into like Epcot World Showcase. So you probably saw Epcot Forever. And then, of course, you're also able to see Magic Kingdom, which is a little further up, but still.
The Magic Kingdom ones are close, though.
I mean, the map I'm looking at, it would be the Epcot ones would be super close, and then the Magic Kingdom ones would be a little bit further, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It was interesting. Again, there's a lot to see from there.
Yeah.
And it was enjoyable. And I could really understand why people would eschew DVC for this at some point, right? I get it. It's cheaper. There is the benefit at Disney, right, of having that bus system and all that and being in the bubble, but it was not bad. I would go there again. It was not even a question that I would go there again and stay there again, especially if I ran out of points. It's actually making me kind of rethink this, getting more points directly. I'll be honest with you. I'm probably still going to do it, but it is making me kind of rethink that, going, all right, so if I stay there for 4 days at 300, so 1,500, how many 1,500s do I have to hit before I'm in that, what I pay for?
You got to do the math on it, yeah.
Yeah, but it definitely fun. I know somebody else is going to the Gaylord Palms, and it's a tough call for me, right? I love the Gaylord Palms, right? I really do. We've been there bunches of times. There's more to do there, at the Wyndham. I mean, you're closer, right? I would say that it probably takes a little bit of step above. I think that the Gaylord Palms probably has better restaurants and more restaurants. And the inside of Gaylord Palms is pretty cool, right? With all the alligators and all that stuff. But yeah, it's a tough call. So I did really enjoy it. So then the whole reason we went down there was for FootGolf. It was fun, and it was... we got lucky. So we ended up going down there, and I didn't realize how cheap it was when you're kind of off season. It was $59 with tax for 4 of us.
For all of you? Wow.
Yeah. My son brought his ball and brought turf cleats, which was helpful, right?
Can you provide, do they provide you balls, or you can bring
They do. So the rest of us, took the regular soccer balls, but they're obviously not as nice as, a real soccer ball that you would play in a game with.
Sure.
So again, my son brought his, and I would say if you're a soccer player, it was still wet there because, it rains all the time. I would say turf shoes are probably a pretty good in between. But you could even wear soccer cleats. It just depends on how competitive you want to be about it. So we get there, and, we were there on our time, and some, group that was not following any of the rules. They were wearing open-toed shoes. I don't know how you're playing foot golf with open-toed shoes.
Ooh,
and
my God.
and no collared shirts, which you're supposed to be wearing, right?
Did they have the socks at least? I mean,
they had no socks. But what they did is there was a line, right? Because people there on time, and they kept going, well, what time is your reservation? Like, all right, well, 4:46. What time is their reservation? 4:51. Oh, ours is before that. And just stepped in front of everybody. Like, whatever, man. So, yeah, but it took a while because the guy was down there by himself doing foot golf, and he kind of has to explain and show you and things like that, right? So it took a little bit for us to get on. Now, it rained right after we got off. Like the last hole, it was kind of drizzling, and then it opened up. Now, one of the things they did say was, the guy's like, hey, there is thunder, but, it's kind of your decision sort of thing. And they do have a horn that they will sound if if the lightning is closer than whatever it was. There was a warning because lightning was X amount of miles, and then they do a special horn if it's even closer than that. So we decided to go, right? Because again, right, I can hear a horn. I'm good with coming in if there's a horn. There was no horn during our time. And again, it poured right when we got off. So the walk from the course to the car was wet, but playing it was fine. And it was fun. It was shorter than I thought, right? It took us a shorter amount of time, and it was definitely harder and not as hard as I thought. So I guess what I would say is that younger kids can definitely play and it's not frustrating. But the other thing that's interesting is that a lot of, like, my son had a problem with the first 2 holes being a soccer player, because it's not like you're playing soccer, right? Like, even though you can kick it really hard and really far, you know, when you're trying to kind of track somebody down that's running, you have a little bit more give. Like, a lot of what he was doing was he felt like he was overshooting things because he was playing a player, not playing a static hole. Not right. So yes.
Yeah, I get that. That's hard. Yeah.
Yeah. It took him 2 holes before he was able to, you know, again, he was still putting way better than us, but it took him 2 holes before he was able to say, all right, I got to lay it a little short and let it roll rather than trying to put it on the hole. And there's some pretty far ones too. There's one that's 196 yards, right? But we just got crushed on it besides him because, you know, we were hitting shot 3 where his first shot landed. So that was interesting. And the family behind us also had a soccer player as well, which was interesting. And he was doing the same thing. He was putting them out there. So it was really fun. I mean, we really enjoyed it. And I think the cost ratio is just, you can't really beat it for $59. Now, even in season, I think it goes up to 20 for the kids, 28 for it's still really cheap, but at $59, like, it's a no brainer, and it's easy to get to. It's easy to get off, right? It's easy just to accomplish everything, right? You go into the clubhouse, you pay, you walk down there, you know, again, it's Disney. So they're like, follow the green line to the, you know, to the umbrella. So it's super easy to find it. The only other thing I will say that was difficult is the course is laid out like an M. And this is what I didn't realize. So it's a 9-hole golf course as well. And I was kind of like, oh, I wonder if they just switch out the holes. Right? There's just 2 golf courses there, 2 9-holes, and they let golfers play at certain times and FootGolf play at another time. So there's actually 2 golf courses intermingled between each other.
Gotcha.
So it's an M shape for FootGolf, right? Up, down sort of thing. It was interesting to find, you know, sometimes the hole. You know, the next hole. Yeah. Again, like, you know, we found them. It's not like we didn't find them when we were out searching through the woods for them, but it was a little bit more difficult than I would have thought. And, you know, it was fun though. I mean, it was a fun experience, but again, I think it took us 45 minutes. It was not a super long experience, but it was well worth the money, especially in terms of, you know, Disney money, in terms of, you know, the ratio of doing something different. So.
Was that with a DVC discount or no?
So there is no DVC discount.
I thought there was.
When it's this time of the year and it's super cheap.
Okay. It's only when it's peak when there's a discount. Okay.
Yes. So, I mean, it's $12 for kids, which are under, you know, 17 and under. Yeah. $12. Like, I don't need a discount on it.
You don't need a discount on that. I get it.
Yeah.
So did your son beat all of you? I mean.
Oh, yeah.
You expected that though.
Oh, we fully expected that. I mean, I crushed everyone at mini golf. So I was using that, right, as my thing. Like, yeah, you might have beat me here, but, you know, I still won at mini golf. So, my 11-year-old ended up tying me in FootGolf.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we both came in third. So we both came in last.
So your other son came in second? And
Yes. Yeah. But it was, like I said, it was definitely a fun time. The only other thing to mention was we went to Margaritaville. We ate at Bento. That's true. I had to say that we ate at Bento. It was okay, but the people there were super duper nice, in terms of getting our food. But Margaritaville it was like Pleasure Island used to be, and it was 4th of July, and they were doing fireworks, and we were trying to get food, right?
Oh no.
So again, I had to put on my ninja mask, and I went in and grabbed the food myself, but it was bumping. And Bento was okay.
Is that a place that everybody like recommended for you to go? Like, cause I know you got a lot of recommendations from the group.
Yeah. And what was funny is that I think I should have hit the pizza place, but I feel like, you know, we can get pizza here. So it was like, I just didn't want to do it. But everyone I talked to, even when I came back, and a few people were like, oh yeah, I stayed at the window. What did you go to, was it Giordano's? And I'm like, no, went to Bento.
That was the place,
But it was, like I said, it was good, and it was good for what it was. And I didn't think it was that expensive, but Margaritaville was bumping. Like, it was so bumping that we were parked so far away. My wife had to drop me off to run in to get it. But it was, like I said, Bentos were good. I mean, it was good. It was good, and it was good for what it was and for what my kids wanted. So, but I don't think
what's the cuisine there. What's the?
It's Asian.
That's what I assumed
Pan-Asian
from the
sort
name,
of thing.
But I didn't want to assume,
Yeah.
Bento's the lunchbox.
Yeah.
So Margaritaville was, like I said, not my jam.
That's
but
like a burger. That's like a burger and fry place, though. Like it's it's a sandwich.
No, Margaritaville is an area that has like 25
oh yeah, I know, but
restaurants.
they have restaurants though too, don't they?
Yeah, it's all it is pretty much.
Yeah.
But again, it was very Pleasure Islandy. Again, 4th of July, right? So people are dancing. There's music everywhere. It was packed.
Nice.
But not necessarily a place that I would go to outside of that anyway, right? Especially if I'm in the Disney bubble. Totally enjoyable trip. I would definitely have, do it again. I didn't have any regrets besides, what we brought with us. Hotel, total win. I would actually try some of the other hotels in the Bonnet Creek area now based on that, just because, why not? But I think we would also probably go back to Wyndham because the pools were kind of packed for me. You know what I mean? So I wasn't the kids. Kids went to the gym. We played mini golf, things that we could, ourself distance at, but I did not let them pool. And they were pretty bitter about that, especially my older boys. So I think we were probably going to hit that one again at some point. Maybe even I could see how it's a nice place maybe to grab for a day or two before your Disney vacation, especially as a driver, right? As a driver, do I want to waste points if I'm coming in kind of late and not doing the park? I might not anymore. I might, use this as a 1, 2-nighter to kind of get the trip started and then move over to Disney, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it'd be like kind of what I used to do when I would stay in Daytona, but just much closer. Like,
yeah,
you have a one night where you're like outside the bubble, and then you're ready to go early in the morning the next day. And
this is a little bit of like, it's definitely not a bubble, but it's definitely not an Embassy Suites, which I liked. I'm not knocking them, but like it's a pseudo kind of bubble. You know what I mean? Like it's not a real bubble, but there's definitely a feeling that you can get everything you want at the Wyndham without going anywhere.
I'm looking at the satellite on it. Yeah, they've kind of set themselves up around that lake, so that it looks like all the hotels and the pools and everything are like you said. It seems like a mini bubble, which.
There's 5 pools. Like that's a lot.
I had no idea any of this was here.
Yeah.
Although I've never looked, but that's really
and it's close. It's right there.
It's right there. Yeah. It is right there. And I think they have a Disney ticket person on site. I think I saw as well. So
I'm going to assume they're one of those good neighbor hotels.
They are.
Yes.
Yeah. And they're also, what I will say is that most of the people that I was able to discern by, me, eavesdropping their conversations, were there to go to Disney, right? Like that's what most of the people were there to do.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Total win though. Again, I really enjoyed it.
That's great. Go ahead, Trevor. Sorry.
All right, the podcast over now. Are we done?
Yeah, right.
That's all everyone was waiting for, right? So
no, like I said, I'm just looking at this now, and that's really cool that they've set themselves up, and like you said, it's outside the bubble, but it's like really, it's on the edge of the bubble. Like
it is.
I mean,
yeah.
it's so technically
close.
Disney property at that point. I mean, it looks like it's on Disney property. I don't know.
Oh, that I don't know.
I feel like it's literally just outside of Disney's property, that road there is the dividing line, is how I feel about it.
But I mean, it's right there. It's so close. I mean, like you like you said, you could probably walk to Caribbean Beach based on how close it is. I mean, it looks, I mean, just on the map, I mean, probably take you 15-20 minutes, but
yeah. And the way that the roads are, again, I don't know if that's truly beneficial to try that, right? Because I don't know where you're crossing.
Yeah.
Based on driving, right? There's this big circle around the whole Bonnet Creek area, and I don't know if I'd necessarily want to cross that road.
I would not jaywalk any of those roads, and not because, traffic is one thing, but also, if you're having to cut across any kind of brush or anything like that, I'm not chancing finding any kind of
snakes and gators.
Well, so check this out. See, here's the other thing. My daughter's a little bit of she doesn't really love bugs and things like that, right? So we're going to FootGolf, and the guy, he was funny. Like he was funny in just how open he was. You know, again, super nice guy, and it's kind of telling us everything, but he definitely made the situation a little bit worse. So, you know, it's out there, it's thundering, and we're just like, so it's thundering, right? And again, like, I'm like, you know, telling my daughter, like, there'll be a horn. There'll be a horn. Don't even worry about it, right? Like, no problems, no big deal. And the guy's like, well, yeah, you know, it shouldn't be a problem, you know, but I mean, somebody died yesterday at one of the golf courses and by lightning. And we're like,
no,
okay, all right. So he tells us the golf course and all that. And all right, I think we're done at that point. And then he's like, yeah, so while you're out there, look, if your ball goes into the woods and you don't want to get it, you know, you can just call me and I'll either give you a new ball or come out and get it. Or if it goes into the water or something, because, you know, there's been a lot of water moccasins out lately. And, you don't want to get bit by one of those. And then the alligators on top of that. And we're like,
shut up.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, thanks.
Great.
Just be quiet, please. Like,
yeah, I think an alligator, I feel like, would be not the thing I'd want to see, but I feel like it would be big enough that I'm not trying to step on a water moccasin at the end of the day. Like, that's what I'm not trying to do. And somebody did kick their ball into the water, and they have, you know, like these big pool strainers things that you can like kind of fish it out of the water with. I was like, nah, not me. I'm going to get another soccer ball. Yeah. Unless it's my son's soccer ball, like that thing's in the lake. Like, we'll get another one. Thank you very much.
Yeah. I've seen that movie, and that's how somebody gets pulled into the water.
Exactly. Not me. Thank you.
Yeah. Did I ever tell you guys? I think I told you guys this one time. I was in Hilton Head years ago, and there was a gator across the pond or across the marsh, and so I, you know, being an idiot, walked up to the banks, right, just to get a closer look. And it was far away. It was maybe like, you know, 50 feet away or whatever. And the gator goes under the water, and I'm like, oh, it's gone. Oh, it must have gone away. And about 30 seconds later, pops up a foot away from me in the in the water. And I was like, yeah, that was probably not a good idea to come to the bank like this.
I have another Hilton Head story kind of just like that, Tom. So so my wife's parents' house is in Sea Pines, and it's on, you know, the only dredged area so you can have boats, right? So I'm in their backyard, and there's crabs back there, and I'm like, oh, they, you know, I'm in their garage, and they have crab cages. So there's raw chicken in the freezer. I was like, yeah, I'm going to go crabbing. So me and the boys go off the dock, and we're crabbing, right? No big deal. And we're like, oh, we're not catching anything. We're not catching anything. So I go to pull the crab cage up off of the edge of the dock, right? Now the dock it's not like a huge dock, so it's probably, again, like a foot away from the water, because the tide comes in and out there, right? So the tide's up, right? About a foot away from the water. So I go to pick the cage up out of the water, right? And there's an alligator there, and it's just looking at me, and I'm looking at it, right? And my arm is, at this point, 6 inches from its eyeball. And I just tell the boys, I go, boys, just, turn around, walk back to the house. Don't ask any questions. All right. Thank goodness I was able to pull it out with no issues. But I was like, wow, yeah. Hilton Head, you definitely have to be cognizant of the gators. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Now, where Disney DVC is, there's not as big of an issue over there. I don't feel like
they're constantly capturing gators on Disney property. Right?
Yeah,
that's a thing that they have a whole team that all they do is capture gators and move them off of property, or I don't know what they do with them, but they get rid of them. They get rid of them.
But Hilton Head is pretty tough for that. Yeah, you kind of have to be aware of that.
Hilton Head is I've said this before, and Damon, I think you would agree with this. It's a strange place, right? Like, you have the ocean there, you have a lot of bodies of water, there's canals everywhere.
Everywhere.
And there's just wildlife all around you. Like, all kinds of wildlife that don't seem like they should mix, you know?
Well, yeah. And the thing is that it's all very natural.
Yeah.
So where, I think I got fire anted down there, right? Jeez. And I was like, I'd never gotten bit by fire ants before, and I had no idea how how just painful that is. Yeah. But because everything is down there covered in this layer of Spanish moss,
yep.
You don't see a lot. Like, there's a lot of things you can miss in terms of animals. And I just literally stepped on a fire ant nest and had no idea where, in North Carolina, we have them, but you see them, right?
Yeah,
and you see, oh, yeah. I shouldn't step on that, right? But down there, a lot of things, like I said, everything is very natural, a lot of tree cover. And that's where it's different than other beach areas, which makes it nice, right? Because, I mean, going to the Outer Banks versus going to Hilton Head is a totally different experience.
Totally.
Because, yeah, I mean, everything is natural and everything's covered and everything's, just there. And you do have to be a little bit careful, though, for, what you're doing down there, for sure.
Yeah, Hilton Head's a really interesting place in
It
general.
is.
I don't know how we got talking about that, but
Went from Bonnet Creek to Hilton Head.
Yeah, exactly. Anything else, Damon, about your trip or anything else you want to
No, I think that's it for now.
That's good. That's good.
Welcome back to Damon's Detours.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, Dan, our listener Dan actually sent me a theme song for Damon's Detours. I forgot to tell you guys about that.
Oh, okay.
What?
Dan made a theme song for Damon's Detours. I'll have to. You guys will have to listen to it. We haven't listened to it yet, but thank you, Dan, for your Damon Detour song. It's pretty funny. So anyway, let's go ahead and answer the couple listener questions that we have.
All right.
You want to read it, Trevor?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so Chris asks, with the upcoming almost 3-day complete member services shutdown that improves, changes, fixes things, what do you hope to expect to see? And if they don't fix some of the known issues, i.e. Ghost availability or having to call to borrow points when resale, what kind of reaction do you expect the membership to have? He goes on to say, I have to believe that in this day and age for them to go down completely offline for so long that they must be taking the entire system down. Yes. So I don't know Disney's IT internal workings. If they're taking this big of an outage, yeah, there's definitely a major change going on there. Whether or not they will fix everything that people want them to fix. Again, sorry, I work in IT and it's not that simple. It's never that simple.
Well, and chances are they're probably just upgrading their systems to something new and something better and, that doesn't have as many problems. I mean, and they might not even be planning to really be down for 2 days. Maybe they think it's going to take 2 days and they're just giving themselves an extra day for the inevitable problems that will happen afterwards. So.
Yeah, I mean, usually if I had to guess, like you said, if they're taking it down for this long, there's probably something big like a database migration going on where they have to shut down the entire system, move data over to a new backend or a new system, and then bring it back up again. That would be my guess. So that is the that gives them a better system to work on and potentially better ways to access people's information. Whether or not we'll see that on the front end, it's hard to say.
It's hard to know what they're doing. I mean, they haven't really said what they're doing. So like you said, it could just be all back-end infrastructure stuff that will have no impact on members whatsoever. It could just be the same as it has been,
Well, I wouldn't say no impact. I would say no immediate impact. So
yeah. I mean, but maybe like no front-end, impact that people will see,
Yeah, what usually the way that these things go is, they'll do the big back-end move. And then if there's, they probably have something planned where, they'll redo the website, they'll redo the apps or the way people do bookings and whatnot. That may come later. I'm not expecting anything because also the thing is Disney would usually, or I guess I shouldn't say this. They don't always do this, but they would kind of say, hey, keep an eye out for new things coming. Like if they have new features coming, they would usually say something like that. The fact that they just announced an outage and that was it tells me that it's not anything user facing necessarily.
Yeah, that's my guess too, Trevor. I tend to think maybe they're just trying to make their systems more reliable, or maybe they're installing a new CRM system, or something. I don't know.
Well, it like anything nowadays, if you can't just sit on the same infrastructure for 5+ years and not screw yourself. Is basically how it works now. Like there does come a point people want to believe like it was years ago where it was like, like you said, CRM or AS400, sorry, tech talk here for a minute. That this is what bank systems use in their back ends to manage your information. And those systems are, AS400 was invented back in the 70s and people still maintain those systems. Yep. But, nowadays, you have to keep upgrading. You have to keep migrating to newer versions because eventually the version that they're sitting on is probably fallen out of support. If it's a back-end database, they probably don't have the necessary support. Or again, going to a newer version allows them to, bring in new features that people want. So yeah, that's my thinking on it.
This could be the first step to offering new features, but might not necessarily be the step that offers those features, right? Like they might have needed to fix their back end stuff first, and then they'll upgrade, what they can after that. So we'll have to see, though. We really have no idea because Disney really didn't tell us anything, or DVC didn't tell us anything. So
I expect nothing, so I probably won't be disappointed.
Yeah, exactly. Expect nothing, and then you won't be disappointed. It's great. Yeah. So Andrew asked, and I wish I didn't really read this question, but when I put it on there, I wish I would have, because this is what you got to think about. You're going to dinner. There's 7 seats at the table. 2 are already filled by you and Walt. You can fill the 5 seats with any Disney person, employee, living or dead, character or characters from any Disney franchise. Who are the 5 people and why? It's a hard question.
5 people.
Do they have to be people?
Well, they said any characters. So.
Yeah, so it doesn't have to necessarily be people. Like if I wanted Roger Rabbit to come sit at the table with me, not that I would. I'm just saying if I did.
Yeah, that's doable if you wanted that.
This is tough. I feel like I would nerd out and want like some of like the legendary like Imagineer people, like a Marty Sklar or like a Ward Kimball kind of guy. Like I feel like I'd want them at the table.
Tony Baxter, right?
Tony Baxter, Exitencio, some of those guys that did like all that really cool stuff, like Mary Blair. Have Mary Blair at the table with you. Cool.
Just to talk, ask questions about, why did you do this thing? Why did you design the ride this way? Or, just to hear some of their insights into how they did things. I guess I'm gonna not go for I wouldn't name 5 people here specifically, but I think something that I would like to do is invite just a cast member that I've met at some point. Like there's been a lot of really cool cast members. Like I think back to previous trips. Like there was a guy when we were waiting for Happily Ever After one trip. He was directing traffic, and we were in the seating area for the dessert party. So like that sectioned off area in the hub. And he was like on the other side of the fence, but like it was like right there. And we were just chatting with him, and he was a super nice guy. And you could tell, he just loved being there. And I would want to talk to someone like that. Just
loved his job. Yeah.
Yeah. Just to talk to someone who, not necessarily, the overarching Disney, but somebody who is there at Disney and, obviously enjoys it for some reason. Or I shouldn't say for some reason. I mean, there's plenty of reasons to enjoy it, but, just to get their take on it too. Right.
Yeah. I feel like I'd also want to have Iger at the table. I feel like Iger's an interesting dude. I feel like just pick his brain on stuff. You know what I mean? There's a lot of interesting people. Did we lose Damon? Did Damon fall asleep?
Probably.
No, I've stumbled across, again, as I tend to do when I don't necessarily care what's being talked about. There is a video from Juvenile for Back That Thing Up.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
I didn't see it. Vax That Thing Up.
Vax That Thing Up, yeah.
I'm
glad you're watching rap
up.
videos while we're doing the podcast. It's great.
Yeah, I kind of got caught up in that.
Yeah.
I kind of got caught up in that. I mean... Nobody. I don't. They're not my family, so
you don't want to have dinner with them.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. Like, what? I mean, if we're talking characters from a Disney franchise, I mean, obviously, I can't go cartoony. So
why not?
I mean, I think we have to have some semblance of, reality attached to this. From a
Why? Because
Disney
you would just say
franchise.
like the Gravity Falls characters,
No, they would be too scared. I'm not trying to get involved in their world. I'm talking, some Scrooge McDuck stuff.
All right.
But I think if it had to be actual characters, I mean, Disney franchise, I don't even know. I don't even know.
It is a hard question.
I have listen, what's Walt telling me?
What do you mean? There's like lots of stuff he could tell you. He seems like he was a very interesting person.
I mean, what's he telling me?
I don't know.
I guess for me and Tom, it's more like, what he was going through building Disney, insight into, how things were done, why he made the decisions that he made. That would be the stuff that I would care about.
Yeah, but I take Disney very, spot in time, right? So for me, Disney is what it is at this point, right? Which leads to its own interesting discussion about, one of the things I had been thinking about recently was all these people complaining about price increases and things like that. So I don't think Tom even, well, I guess we'll get to that when we have,
What?
The Disneyland Paris FastPass.
Yeah, we got it. I have it on there. We'll get there.
We'll have that discussion
We'll
later.
circle back.
Yeah. Well, okay. So the last thing we have on here is Dan wants to know, now that Damon has done his FootGolf only trip, what else would you travel to Disney World for just to spend one day?
That's tough, man. Like,
Tough one.
It depends how close you are and how comfortable you are with driving and how long you've been cooped up in the house for, right? There's a lot of things that factor into in theory, yes, a 1 day trip, right? That's really what it was. A drive day, a day, and a drive back day.
Well, Damon and I are probably going to do it next year for a meetup at some point for a listener meetup. So
yeah, I mean, I think I traveled to Disney World for a meetup. I guess I would definitely do that. I think that interestingly enough, the only other thing I would travel down there for would be Universal's Hollywood Horror Night. I would do a day for that, and I'm actually contemplating that, to be honest with you, because we kept on talking about doing it. And it was like, no, we can't. The only downside of that is I don't love driving in places I don't know. Right? If you get me on the road, like, I'll drive forever, but I don't like that last little part of it. So it's funny. When we drove down there, I always do this to my wife. Like, I'll drive 10 hours, but you got to drive the last 2. And she'll be like, oh yeah, of course. Right? Like, for her, that's a huge win. And for me, it's kind of a win too, because I get anxious about driving places I don't know. I feel like I make bad driving decisions sometimes, right?
you panic.
So
you just panic.
I think sometimes I panic, right? So
wow.
I try to avoid that. So I think that the problem with driving down to go to that and then staying somewhere else would be like, how am I getting over to Universal? Like, I don't want any part of that.
The logistics of it all.
The logistics of it. So I almost feel like I'd have to stay on site, but I would do that. That would probably be the only thing down there that I would pull it off for, would be that. Not Disney related, sorry.
I think if I would maybe like go to like the first day of like the 50th anniversary stuff, but it's not going to happen. But like, that's something I would travel for if it would have worked out. I would have done it. Like the first day of a new fireworks show, or like the first day of something, a new land debuting or something like that. That would be something I would travel for.
Yeah,
what about you, Trevor?
So this is hard because like driving is just non-existent for me. So I'm trying to think of it from like, the same way we do day trips around here.
Well, would you do anything where you'd fly to, like, let's say Disneyland, since that's closer to you, and then do a thing for a day and then fly back the next day?
I mean, yeah, if I had an opportunity and there was like if I got invited to really, like you said, any kind of special event, I would definitely try to do that. I would, hop on a plane, go down there, do the thing, stay overnight, and then come back. I mean, specifically that, like, Dan was asking if there's anything in Disney World that I would travel for. And
yeah,
I mean, at this point, just because I've been out of there for so long, I would just spend a day at Typhoon Lagoon, not even just like for slides, just to go to a water park and like lay in the lazy river for like 5 hours. Like, that's what I would do at this point.
Nice. All right, let's do our ad. And then we're going to talk about some food, and then we're going to talk about FastPasses. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
All right. So our ad this week is for DVC Rental Store. The DVC Rental Store, a World of DVC company, offers magical vacations at incredible value. Save up to 60% off retail rates at premium Disney resorts. DVC Rental Store now includes deposits as low as 25% at the time of booking and a built-in cancellation policy for every reservation. And as always, DVC Rental Store pays out the most to members looking to rent their points. Want to learn more? Go to dvcrentalstore.com or call 1-855-DVC-RENT. That's 1-855-382-7368. And of course, let them know that Welcome Home sent you.
Yay.
All right. All right, we're going to start talking. Let's talk about these new food items in Galaxy's Edge.
Oh, dude, there's so much food.
So much food. So much food. I mean, I we haven't talked food in a while, though. Like food, and we like talking about food.
I just ate, which is good, so at least I won't feel like... But there's not a lot of dessert in the house. That's the problem I have.
In your house, okay.
In my personal house.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's been a problem for me, because I do like dessert.
I like desserts, too.
I've finally gotten back to... It was tough, but what I was seeing is that like my weight was just like kind of ballooning a little bit because again, I couldn't do too much surgery. And then like I wasn't doing too much because I was being lazy, I guess. So I went back to fasting. But before then I tried to make some chocolate chip cookies that are a little bit healthier, but stupidly they were not. And they were terrible. So like I'm kind of on the edge here of desserts.
Well, with that said, there are new food options within Galaxy's Edge. One of these is Batuan beef and crispy, tapado?
Oh, yeah.
Tapado?
Let's go with tapado. Yeah.
Tapado stir fry, which is smoked braised beef glazed in tarramin sauce, served with stir fried vegetables, crispy herb.
All right, we can't read every one of these, Tom. Come on now. Yeah. Let's keep it moving here.
So there's a chicken salad. There's the hot chicken tip yip.
that I could be down with.
And then the tuna poke, right? So,
I would go for the poke.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't do sushi. But
yeah, I don't do raw fish. Well, I don't do fish in general, but if I did fish, it would be raw.
I definitely would not.
It's good.
This
raw tuna is the best. But.
Outpost puff, though.
That looks good. The dessert?
Yeah. I'm going to be all about desserts, I guess.
Chocolate pastry filled with, how do you say that? Guajillo? Chocolate mousse?
Yeah,
sure.
And green milk sauce. Like that written out does not sound great, but I know what they mean. Like,
I think that maybe some of those milks might do better as sauces, so I'm okay with that.
Well, I like the confectionery debris. What does that even mean? I like it though. I like guessing put that on there.
I'm guessing it's like crumbled candy or like sprinkles or something that's been smashed. I don't know.
Yeah. I also see that they have some new plant-based stuff too. Sorry, Trevor. I mean, Damon, what were you saying?
No, I was just going to say, I was kind of going the same way. That fruit with the special sauce, which I'm not going to touch either one of those, sounds good though.
What is that one?
X. We're behind the scenes. It's X on Tom's outline.
Oh, okay.
I noted
10.
Fruit
Sorry,
with
10.
Fuchsia sauce because...
Sorry, I was looking at the website and not at the outline.
Well, darn it,
using
Tom.
the outline like you.
Yeah, like I like the thing I wrote. Yeah, okay, yeah. So there's a fruit salad. What is it? It was a jicama, cucumber, pineapple, melon, dragon fruit with a tarramin sauce and dusted with peppercorn ash.
I'm down with that.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Why do they have to say plant-based after all that in brackets?
Well, just because in case some of the sauce or the dusting was not.
Yeah.
Okay, fair.
It's them saying it's vegetarian, right? So yeah, basically. I'm down for some pork rinds though, with some ancho chili, cheddar, smoke, and cinnamon. That sounds awesome.
I don't do pig skin, man. That just sounds nasty.
But you don't do bacon?
Yeah, that's not pig skin though.
Bacon, yeah. So I've never
not far off.
I've never understood pork rinds.
I don't do that, man.
Oh, I like pork rinds.
They're not really a thing here, so I just don't get it. Sorry.
Oh, really?
They're a thing here, Trevor. I still don't get it.
All right. Well, that's the Galaxy's Edge stuff. You want to talk about food and wine?
Oof. Yeah, this looks big and it looks yummy.
It is. There's a lot of stuff here. And I even think we got some of your noodle exchange stuff in there. All right. So let's see.
All right. I guess we got to do what we did last time, right? So we'll do Earth Eats and just pick one and keep it moving.
Yep.
Man, I don't love the Impossible Burger. I want to so bad. And I love wasabi. spicy slaw. Like, I love that Impossible Burger slider, but I just don't love Impossible Burger. But I almost think that the wasabi slaw is going to outweigh the taste I don't love with the slider, and the texture of the Impossible Burger is fine. So I think I'm good with that.
I'm actually out on both of these, but the burger slider and the chili. I'm not a chili fan, and I don't do burgers, even though it's plant-based. So I'm out. Just out completely.
I'm with Damon on the Impossible Burger. I feel like it would be okay if it, but yeah, the wasabi cream makes it interesting.
Yeah. So then we have the noodle exchange.
This is one you were excited about, right? So
yeah, but the problem is there's nothing there for me because they got mushrooms and everything, so I'm just out.
Oh yeah, they do.
See that? See the char siu pork udon? That would be my pick.
That would be my pick if I could get them to minus the mushrooms. And look,
they might take them out
sometimes, right? So it really depends when you're at Food and Wine exactly what's going on and how the food is prepared.
Yeah.
But if possible, I would do that minus mushrooms.
Yeah. There's some interesting options there. I think I'd probably go with the pork as well, minus the mushrooms because I don't do mushrooms either. So yeah, I'd be out on that. Although the soy pickled egg seems kind of gross to me.
That seems awesome. That would be one of the reasons why I'd want it.
Not a fan.
It'd be very salty and soy.
I love salty.
Yeah.
Shimmering sips. I mean, I like banana bread, so maybe I'd try that. Shimmering soft serve strawberries, just so what?
It's just soft serve. Yeah, banana bread with mixed berry compote sounds good to me.
All right.
Yeah.
So
these drinks sound good too. A mimosa flight, key lime mimosa. That sounds good.
You're on your own there, so yeah.
You went to a key lime mimosa. That sounds good.
I mean, it sounds good, but again, right? A lot of sugar, a lot of money. I'd rather eat than drink. I always say I'd rather
you like to eat your
than
calories.
drink.
Yeah.
I like just don't do the alcohol myself, so a lot of these are off the table for me.
Like for me, Tom, what it would be is I would love a sip of each one of those.
Yeah. I get it. Well, they have a flight. They have a flight.
Well, but a flight's too much even. Like just try it, but not like a whole drink, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably do a flight and like share it with my wife. Like I wouldn't be drinking all of it. We'd each, share.
Right.
Yeah, I'd have a lick of each one. Not even a sip, but give me a lick.
Damon would just smell it. He'd just get the scent.
You know what would be great? Again, we get a little, public affection here, but I would like a kiss after each one of them from my wife after she drank it. Then that's perfect for me. I'm good with that.
Would be half a calorie in that.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'd be good with that. All right. Australia.
This shrimp looks really good. I
don't like shrimp. I don't like lamb. Deconstructed pavlov. I don't think so. I think I'm probably out on this. Yeah, I'm out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to do the sweet and spicy shrimp or the lamb chop. I'm not into either one of those. But I would do the pastry thing. That's, what is it? Berries, lemon, meringue. That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I'm looking at it, though, and it doesn't seem all that exciting.
It's kind of, it looks like a bunch of fruit on a on a plate.
Exactly. So that would be out for me now. We have the refreshment port.
Poutine.
I'm out on both of these because I don't do beef and I'm not a big cheesecake person.
Damon's Trevor, why do we keep mixing up your names today? Trevor's going to have a problem with the poutine because it's not legit poutine, right?
Okay, here's the things wrong with the poutine is, so first, the beef, and then boursin garlic and fine herb cheese sauce. Like,
that sounds good, though. It does, but there's cheese curds on it.
But that to me is like you went to the grocery store and the boursin cheese is like, you want to buy fancy cheese, but you don't actually want to go and look for fancy cheese. Like it's the manufactured.
Well, it is
stuff.
The place is sponsored by Boursin. So.
Yeah, I know, but it's still, I know. And I get that, but it's still, yeah. It's not right.
Cheesecake though. I'd do the cheesecake.
Yeah, I'm not a big cheesecake fan.
I'm not. But that looks good. Maple sounds good. Yeah,
I mean, I'll eat it again, but it's not like something I'm looking for, which is tough, dude. I'm actually kind of disappointed so far through this list because I'm at Ireland and I'm still disappointed.
All right,
even with the desserts here. Go ahead. Sorry, Trevor.
Well, so let's go over to Ireland. A fisherman's seafood pie. I don't know what that looks like a shepherd's pie with seafood in it.
Yeah. Look at it. It's above. It's right above.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is it looks to me like a shepherd's pie, which
I'm in on the warm chocolate pudding cake with Irish cream liqueur custard.
Yeah,
That sounds
I don't
good.
love Irish cream liqueur, so I'm out on that.
Even you wouldn't do the Irish sausage with the potatoes and the gravy? Oh, that sounds
not
good
Irish
too.
sausage. No, thank you.
That sounds good, man.
No, it's not like Italian sausage if there's a substitute there. So now I'm out. Ooh.
So, Trevor, you're doing the seafood pie?
I guess, but that's kind of a maybe even.
Well, I would do the Bailey shake. That sounds good too. The Guinness Bailey shake.
All right, so we got the
Or the
apple-
mead honey wine. Yeah, that sounds good too.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no, thank you. All right, so Appleseed Orchard.
Wait, did you
We're
skip over
skipping
Canada?
Ooh,
Oh, did I?
Whoa.
I'm sorry.
you just
Whoa.
did that?
That was. I would have told you if it was on purpose. My bad.
Harsh.
The cheddar and bacon soup. I mean,
love
I guess so. I mean, I'm not in love with it, but I
I've
guess
still
so.
never had the cheddar soup. I don't know why this is labeled as a Canadian thing, because it's again, I get it's Eastern Canada. I just okay.
What about the beef filet mignon?
I would
with
be
truffle butter
more
sauce?
interested in the filet mignon. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would tear up that soup. I do every time I can get that soup. I will eat it as much as possible. All right, so the Appleseed Orchard, David, that you were skipping ahead to, the apple crumble tart or the apple chips? The apple crumble tart looks awesome.
I mean, I would do both because I'm a big apple person.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Yeah,
apple chips just seems like I'm going to get charged $7 for something I could get for $1. But I mean,
Well, they don't have a lot of details. They don't even really have a picture of it here. So,
no,
like,
I don't really know what it includes.
Like, is it just the chip, or do they put some fun seasoning on it, or like, you know,
That tart looks dry. Like, I don't know how a picture of a tart can look dry, but like, it just looks dry.
I feel like this booth is more about the beverages, though. Like, look at all the beverages. Like a
Frozen apple pie, non-alcoholic. I could get down with that. Cinnamon apple cider. I do love apple cider.
Yep.
So I could get down with both those. The apple blossom sky is interesting from, I'd almost rock that. Even with brandy in there, I'd just ask for them to be light on the brandy. I would do that as well.
Trevor, any of these appealing to you, or?
So I'm what's Fanta apple? Like, is that like
soda?
Okay.
It's a carbonated soda.
Tastes like apple.
All
I didn't even see that. Where's the Fanta apple?
in the apple
It's
blossom
in apple
sky.
blossom.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing.
Drinks all sound good.
Again, nothing there is really hitting with me. It's, I mean, apple's okay. It's just, this would not be the first place I would stop.
I gotcha.
So on to Brazil. Like I said, this has been a little bit of a disappointing tour for me so far. I'm gonna do the crispy pork belly, and I would consider the cheese bread as well, the Brazilian cheese bread.
I have had the Brazilian cheese bread. It is super good, and I would maybe do the crispy pork belly, but I'm not a black bean fan, so I would not want that. But I would. The cheese bread is delicious, and by the way, it's worth noting the Brazil booth doesn't open till October 1st. So, go ahead, Trevor.
I'm actually, the more I'm reading about the seafood stew, I would probably go for that. Because with the
scallop, shrimp, and whitefish.
Yeah. With the coconut lime sauce, and that would do it for me.
See, I love my coconut in desserts. I don't love it in non-desserty stuff. Not that I like seafood anyway, but I'm just in general.
I'm guessing you don't do like Thai curry or anything like that, because Thai curry is a lot of coconut, but it's really good.
Yeah, no. So Belgium, which is also opening October 1st.
Belgian waffle with warm chocolate ganache. That sounds good.
No, that ganache looks so thick, man. Looks too much, man. It looks like nope.
I actually, I don't usually eat beef, but I will sometimes. And the beer braised beef with smoked Gouda mashed potatoes sounds and looks good.
I would agree. I mean, I wouldn't do it, but I kind of could see where you're coming from.
Yeah. Gouda? Yeah. Gouda mashed potatoes sound good. Trevor, what do you got here?
I don't really want the chocolate ganache. But I wouldn't do the berry compote with cream either.
So, no to the beer braised beef with the Gouda mashed potatoes.
Yeah. So okay. I don't know if I've said this before, but I don't like mashed potatoes at all. Like,
what?
Yes.
Mashed potatoes.
I'm sorry. I've probably just made a bunch of people angry. Yeah, ever since I was a kid, I cannot eat mashed potatoes. It's a texture thing. I just don't.
My son's
like
the
texture.
same way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
So the Tangerine Cafe. So this is interesting.
This is new.
All right.
This is new too. This
I like falafel, but you know what? I haven't had good falafel in a long time either. It's too dry or too dark. Like cooked too dark.
Yeah.
I haven't had it in a long time. So I'd really have to figure that out. Like, again, maybe a bite of something. Kebabs just seem like not worth it. And the only thing is, though, this pistachio cake. I love pistachio. So I would, and it looks good, too.
Yeah, I was going to say that looks beautiful. Like the way that they did the presentation on it.
The only thing is, though, cinnamon to me, it's, cinnamon's okay in certain things. But I almost wish the pastry cream was not cinnamon pastry cream and just regular like vanilla pastry cream. But I'd still do that.
Oh man, I love cinnamon. I could eat cinnamon with anything.
I feel like it depends on like there's a balance with cinnamon for me. If I get it, Damon. Like if there's too much cinnamon, that it overpowers the cream and you're basically just tasting that like earthy, like dry cinnamon. I don't want it, but I would assume that they've figured that out with this cream, that it's not overpowering the whole thing. I would hope so.
Yeah. I think the thing I would go for here is the lemon garlic chicken. I think that's where I go. That sounds good.
Yeah. I'm so fixated on the design on top of that pistachio cake. Like that's very so cool. I like that.
Yeah. It is really cool.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. There's some cool drinks at this one too. They got another cider flights. They've been doing a lot of those cider flights, and I'm here for it. I love a good hard cider. Let's see what else we got. Okay,
Tom's going to be
Greece?
flying around the World Showcase on his flights.
yeah, exactly. All right, so Greece. What do we got here?
Okay, I cannot pronounce this first one.
Spanakopita.
Okay, there we go.
Spanakopita. I've heard it said too before. I don't know the
I don't know what
correct way.
I don't know what that is. A griddled. So I almost thought this was grilled cheese. This is griddled cheese with pistachio and honey.
Is it just like a chunk of cheese that they like griddle and then?
Yeah,
what?
That's what it
that
looks
looks kind of good. That looks kind of good.
I'm out on that though because I can't just do
cheese.
straight cheese. Yeah.
Yeah.
The lamb looks interesting. I feel like this would be one that I would kind of look at and walk by. I wouldn't.
Oh, really?
I wouldn't commit to anything here.
I'd try the griddled cheese. I'd try that. That's good. Did we lose Damon?
I think we might have.
No, there's nothing for me to say. That's too much cheese for me too. Even though I like pistachios and honey, I don't love it with my cheese. That's like a cheesecake, and I'm just not a fan so much.
Yeah. All right, so then we got hops and barley, which is at America, New England lobster roll, hot beef sandwich, or carrot cake.
Out, and out.
Yeah, I'm actually out on all this too. I don't do lobster, I don't do hot beef sandwich, and I'm not a carrot cake fan.
Hot beef sandwich for me. I like a good beef sandwich with horseradish cream, and the pickled vegetables have me curious. So, yeah.
The strawberry lime beer sounds good, though. I'll try that. Let's see. Then we got, this is another new one. This is the Rotunda Bistro, again in America. You got shrimp salad, wild mushroom truffle tart, chilled crab with an avocado parfait. I'm out on all these too.
And I'm guessing so is Damon because it's either seafood or mushrooms.
Mushrooms. Yeah, that's my problem too. It's either seafood or mushrooms.
I'm out.
Again, so to me, it's not like I would definitely eat all these things, but it's just, thinking about, again, if I was walking by, none of these scream to me as like, hey, I really need to try this right now.
Yeah.
Then
we got Spain, which is also opening October 1st. I'm down for the charcuterie. I'm always down for that.
I'm not, but I like to say it, but I don't know. I'm not down to eat it. It just seems like totally unfriendly for wrapped meat in the sun, like and messy finger. Like, nah, it just seems too.
Yeah, fork it, spork it.
No, I'm out on that.
I'm down with that. So, but what about you, Trevor?
I feel like charcuterie is kind of like, I know it sounds fancy, but it's kind of like it's low effort in my opinion, because it's literally just
cheese.
Here's just some meat and cheese on a platter. And I get, that the meats and the cheeses are supposed to be, speaking for themselves, but if I'm coming to food and wine, I'm coming to experience something interesting, not something that I can pick up at my local deli.
Yeah. What would you go with, the paella or the seafood salad? Those are the other two options there.
No, neither. Neither of those are looking very interesting to me. Yeah.
All right. Let's go Germany. I'm not going to try to do the German words despite my German heritage. But this is a pasta gratin with ham, onions, and cheese. Definitely in for that. Roast bratwurst and a pretzel roll or apple strudel. I would eat all that.
I would do the apple strudel. The other two, I'm not too interested in.
I'm apple strudeling this as well. That's about it.
You're not. You guys aren't into. You're not into the ham, onions, and cheese and the roast bratwurst. Come on. Oh man.
No, I've never liked that Oktoberfest kind of stuff.
Oh, I live for that. It looks like so opening October 1st again, the Alps booth. This one has been there before. They've had this. They've done the warm raclette of Swiss cheese with ham and baby potatoes on a baguette. That I've actually gotten that before, and it's not only really delicious, but it's also kind of fun to watch them do it. And then there's also a blueberry and almond tart. Are you guys out on both of these, or not feeling?
So the interesting thing
I'm
is
out.
Swiss cheese is one of those cheeses that I actually can eat a lot of the times.
It's oily.
Yeah, but it also doesn't have lactose in it, so that's what I care.
I'm not a fan. The tart looks dry again.
The cheese with baby potatoes, I think, would be the one I would, or the second one.
Without the ham.
Yeah.
The ham.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. There's one with ham and one without ham.
Yeah,
I think that's the only difference between the two. So, all right, let's look at Kenya again, opening October 1st. Kenyan coffee barbecue beef tenderloin or skewered shrimp. Feels like there's a lot of seafood this year.
Mm-hmm. A lot of shrimp.
Yeah, I feel like that's why it's not like I'm not all in on it.
Yeah. Because if you don't eat seafood, it does seem like there's a lot of seafood options this year.
I think I would try the shrimp again on this one.
I'd maybe try this beef tenderloin. It looks kind of good. Even though I don't usually eat beef, I would try it.
Oh gosh, how many more booths do we have?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the same thing. Like, wow, there's a lot left. All right.
Yeah.
That's why we're running through them, though. We're moving quick. India, opening October 1st as well.
No,
so we got warm Indian bread.
Sounds good.
We got more korma chicken with basmati rice, and then red curry and roasted cauliflower.
All right, I'm in on the bread.
Yeah. I would do the bread and the chicken. Go ahead. Sorry, Trevor.
I would do the bread. That's it.
The bread looks really good, actually.
All right, we're moving along here. Swanky saucy swine.
It's a new one.
I do the roasted porchetta. I'm in the porchetta. The thing is, the sticky ribs are probably beef. Otherwise, I'd be in on those. And I don't do pig ear. Thank you.
Well, no, this is all pork, right?
Yeah.
So.
Oh, so then I'm in on those. Then yeah. I'm definitely in on the ribs.
Ribs for sure. Yeah.
I kind of want to eat all this.
I'm not eating crispy pig ears. Thank you very much.
I'd try it. So you have roasted porchetta, soy glazed sticky ribs, crispy barbecue pork rinds, crispy pig ear salad. I would try all this. This all sounds good.
All right, Hawaii is next, which I've had the pork slider, Kahlua pork slider. It's super good. I've had the teriyaki glazed spam hash, also very good. I'd be in on those. And the passion fruit cheesecake was good, even though it's a cheesecake and I'm not always into cheesecake. That one kind of is good because the passion fruit kind of helps against that heavy cheesecake feel.
I'd have the pork slider and the spam and the cheesecake, not the tuna poke.
Yep.
See, the poke with eel sauce, that's great for me because I love, I do eat a lot of freshwater eel with my tuna.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right,
okay, now we get the wing place.
Everything.
Wing place. Yeah.
I mean, just everything. Keep it moving.
All of these wings, garlic parm.
I probably would skip out on the flatbread because flatbread is
Yeah, who needs flatbread?
Exactly, but
so
I do.
Why don't they do a wing flight?
Oh, that'd be awesome. Just a couple of each
like
wing.
1 or 2 of each, and then you could just
I want to know how many wings you get and how much they cost, because wings are expensive.
But also, I don't want, like, if I'm ordering 5 wings after, like, I can really only have 2 flavors and then I'm done. Like, I can't eat that many wings.
Well, unless you're sharing.
Yeah.
Right. Which, nobody else in my family wants to eat wings with me. So.
Oh, then you're beat on that. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, that's why I want
Donut.
a wing flight.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
Donut box is next.
Yeah, look at these donuts.
Sriracha glazed donut. I'm doing that. Whatever the chef donut of the day, doing that. Crispy chicken on sriracha glazed donut, doing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want to eat all this. Candy jar donut with M&M, Snickers, and Twix. Heck yeah.
That's too much. I'm looking at it and I'm like, dude.
The savory donuts are actually a lot better. Like, I don't know if you guys we have a place here that does donut sandwiches, and they are so good.
Damon will laugh at this. Like, one of the very first things I did when I moved to North Carolina, we went to like a very, very minor league baseball game, and the snack bar had Krispy Kreme donut hamburgers and hot dogs, where the bun was Krispy Kreme donuts. So like that was my first introduction to the South. So anyway, let's see. Flavors from Fire. Okay. This is hosted by the NFL.
NFL on ESPN.
Okay. Interesting.
The chimichurri up offense is steak, so I'm out. Corned beef out. The s'mores whoopie pie.
Majorly.
I'm looking at it. I'm definitely in on that.
Yeah, the s'mores whoopie pie looks amazing.
And I think because what they did, again, I'm not a ganache fan. I like it a little bit lighter, but they smoked the chocolate cake, which I think is going to help against that ganache.
It looks fantastic. It just looks amazing.
Yeah, I've just never liked s'mores all that much, so that's kind of turning me off.
Oh my goodness, Trevor's right. There's a lot left, isn't there?
Yeah.
Oh,
there's not that much. We're more than halfway through this. We're rocking it out. Come on.
I'm more than halfway bored at this point, though. Is everyone
you don't want to talk about food? We don't have to.
Let's just finish it up.
Do you want to just scroll through the rest and find? How about the mac and cheese?
Lobster Landing's easy for me. Out.
Yeah. What about the mac and cheese one? I know we talked about that one, and we wanted to see what.
No, we could go through it, but yeah, I mean, Lobster Landing. Trevor, are you eating all of that or none of that?
No, I'm not big into lobster. Really.
Okay, that's easy for us then.
Too. Yeah.
So mac and eats. Truffle. I don't do mushrooms, so no. Traditional. Yeah, I guess so. Cowboy, yeah. Anything pickled, I'm in on.
Pork belly, brisket, burnt ends, pickled peppers, and onion straws sounds really good.
That cowboy macaroni seems like that would be a meal in and of itself.
Yeah, Italian sausage and peppers, it's plant-based, so plant-based Italian sausage. I'm not sure about that one.
I've heard the plant-based sausages are really good, though, like really flavorful.
They're okay.
But yeah. All right. What else we got here?
Mexico?
Yeah. Chorizo, what are these? Tossed in salsa verde, ribeye taco, then some sort of chocolate
bread pudding, though. I'm in on bread pudding.
I don't like bread pudding.
Strangely, I usually go for Mexican stuff, but none of these are really speaking to me.
Because you're probably full by now.
Yeah.
I think I'd get the first one, the chorizo. The chorizo one looks pretty good.
And France, creme brulee. I've had that. It was that's a new one because it's got the Grand Marnier. Yeah. I'd be out, but a regular creme brulee I would have been in on.
Chicken braised in burgundy wine with bacon and puffed potatoes. That sounds good.
Nah, I'm out on that too.
Yeah.
They also have the escargot croissant coming back too. So sorry, Trevor, go ahead.
Yeah, it was just nothing in France for me either. Nothing.
I'm all about the warm beignet filled with 3 cheeses. That sounds good to me too. Italy.
The croccanti. I'm in on that.
Croccanti, half moon breaded mozzarella filled ravioli. That looks good.
Yeah, and I'm in on the bombolini.
Grilled chicken ravioli too. I'm in for all 3 of these.
No, I think I'm out on that. I'm out on the grilled chicken.
I can't do any of these. I would have to walk by this whole thing.
Oh man, that's tough.
China. I'm going to be out on the pan-fried chicken dumplings. They just look like the style of dumpling I don't love. Beef bao, I'm out on because it's beef. And I'm out on the shrimp.
Really?
I would do the pan-fried dumplings. Sorry,
I love a good bao. I would do the beef bao.
Yeah, but I can get better bao Morimoto, and it's not beef. So for me, I'm out.
No,
and I told you I got that bao bowl place over by me now. I think I've kind of been bowed out
Wonderful.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Japan, though, I'm definitely in on the teriyaki chicken bun. Not even.
Yeah, that looks interesting.
Yeah, steam buns are always good.
Steam bun filled with chicken, vegetables, and teriyaki sauce. Yeah, I'm in for that too.
Yep. And the tempura shrimp will be good.
Yeah,
I would do everything in Japan. I mean, well,
nice.
Yeah, it all kind of lines up with stuff that I enjoy.
I want this mini candied bacon s'mores funnel cake with vanilla ice cream. That looks amazing. That's not in Japan, by the way.
I was gonna say where is
it's just this funnel cake. It doesn't say where it is.
Oh, it's just a random funnel cake.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just
Cool.
a random funnel cake. I love anything s'mores. I'm a big s'mores fan. That's it, actually. See, we're done. We blew right through it.
All right.
There we go. Done.
Okay.
So that's your preview of Food and Wine.
Well, our
right.
take on food and wine.
Well, yeah.
If we're walking around the World Showcase, I think we would all be stopping at different places randomly. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about the Disneyland Paris thing and what it means for Disney World, or does it mean anything? So Disneyland's retiring their free FastPass service and introducing a paid Disney Premier access. And what this is, it almost seems like it's demand based, like kind of like, and Trevor, I don't know if you have this in Canada, but we and at least on the East Coast, I don't even know if this is a nationwide thing. We have like express lanes here on the highways where like you can pay a toll, and the toll varies based on how much traffic there is. Like, so it's higher when there's more traffic and lower when there's not. It almost feels like that's kind of what they're doing with this, where you're paying per person per ride on the spot to skip the line.
Yeah, but it's the problem that like pay on demand thing. Like, I guess if it's a small family, fine. But if it's a large family, it's like, oh, you guys, if there's, 5+ of you and you want to skip the line, well, you got to shell out, because they're saying it's 8 to 15 euro per person, right? So 15 times 5, that,
it's a lot of money. It adds up quick.
And that, in a day, like, I guess it's a question of how many rides would you actually want to skip the line on? Like, I know with the way we do fast passes now, like I can fast pass, probably 5 or 6 rides in a day outside of the 3 that you book. Right. Yeah. So to me, like if I was having to pay for all of those, I would do less. It would turn into a discussion of, well, do we fast pass it? Do we stand in line, or do we just not bother at all? And
I think go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So it just, I don't like this whole a la carte thing that they're doing in Paris.
Yeah, I think it's worth noting with this too that they are already doing like a virtual queue system that is free, right?
Right.
So they also, outside of this, have the virtual queue system. So, where basically you go up to the ride and you say, you're there, and then it'll tell you when to come back, right? Which is not really all that different than the original FastPass system, right?
Yeah.
Where you would show up to the thing and say, come back at this time,
Exactly. Yeah. So it is. So I guess, okay, if that was the case, then I would be actually still, I probably wouldn't use it all that often, because, if
I wouldn't either.
Yeah. If you had a virtual queue, there would be very few rides where I would be like, okay, I really, I don't want to wait 3 hours for this or whatever. Like I think, I guess I can see how they're doing it, but also Disney Paris is not nearly as big as Disney World.
Well, that's why I feel like it's hard to look at this and go immediately say to yourself, oh, this is coming to Disney World, because this is the thing that's always been true. Every one of the parks has always kind of done a different thing with FastPass. Like, nobody's really had the same thing going on, right? Like, so Disneyland Paris had a paid FastPass system before. Like, this isn't the first time that they had a paid FastPass. It's just different now. They used to be like tiered. You would pay X amount of dollars and you would have access to these rides. Now they're just doing a la carte, but Disney World didn't do that, and neither did Disneyland. Like, so, you know what I mean? Like, I think
people are just concerned that it's going to happen here.
Yeah, I get
which
that.
It should.
See, I know you're pro, Damon.
I'm 100% pro this. I think it's a good way for Disney to recoup money. And look, I know there's a lot of complaining about Disney not being affordable for people, but here's the situation. You know, I don't necessarily always want to go to Disney. You know what I would love to do? I'd love to go to Dubai every year, right? And I'd love to go to Dubai and then rent a Ferrari and drive around Dubai and then go on one of the desert, you know, excursions. And I would love to do all that. But you know what? I can't afford that. You know, not everyone can afford everything. That's just kind of the way, you know, life is. I'd love to have an Audi R8 as my primary driving car. It'd be wonderful. I would love it, but I can't. Right? So I can't understand, like, Disney's not going to be affordable for everybody. It can't be, otherwise they'd be too packed. I feel like this is kind of the same thing. If this is something that kind of allows people to go on that decide they want to spend more money, that's the way it is, man. That's life. Sorry, everybody. That's life.
Well, I think we kind of mentioned this last episode, actually. I think while you were gone, Damon, is that, you know, this kind of paid FastPass, in a way, kind of exists already at Disney World, where if you pay for a Plaid, if you pay for VIP tour, you're getting in front of line on every ride anyway.
Absolutely, right?
And,
But think about it. If they made that cheap enough that everyone could afford it, then it wouldn't be worth anything, right?
Exactly.
There has to be a tiered system. It's the way it has to be. And paid FastPass is just another way to tier it. Don't use it, then don't use it. But don't be mad at people if they want to use it. And I, for one, would love to see it as a system. And I don't know if I would use it every time or on every ride if it was per ride available, but I would want to do it at certain things.
So
I'm not a fan. Go ahead, Trevor.
I was going to say, I don't disagree with you, Damon, that, yeah, there should be something there like this. My only issue with it is that there's only the a la carte option. If they had something where, like, I could pay per park and, you know,
you can. You just got to pay for all the a la carte options.
Well, but that's
He's saying he wants to pay one price and have access to extra.
You can.
Yeah.
you can. It's just that price is extremely high.
Yeah.
But you can do what you're asking.
I guess I would just rather see something that, you know, I don't like. This to me seems more of a hassle because it is a la carte and you have to go and, you know, chase down all the rides. Whereas if I just paid for a system. Boxes.
But you see what I'm saying, right? Like, so if you had to pay for this system and it was the same price, that's okay for you if it's the same price of all the rides added up together?
Like, I guess, what would you pay?
No, right? So the whole point of it is that there can't be a discount because then too many people would be involved. There has to be a high cost to it. So you could do every ride. It's probably going to take you 7 mouse clicks instead of 1, right? But there can't be a discount for it because that's not the point of it.
Yeah, it's what we talked about with the after hours events, right? It's you expect to have short lines, so you have to make it super expensive, and you have in order to make it a good experience for everybody there, right? Because if you make it super expensive, then you have less people buying it, you know, theoretically.
There's got to be tiers everywhere.
Yeah, like I'm kind of with Trevor on this. Like, I would prefer some sort of system where it was like, hey, pay $50 per person per day, and you have access to all this, as opposed to the a la carte. But also have the a la carte option. Like, I just want more options. You know, like, I don't think the a la carte's a bad option to have, because if, like, you go to Magic Kingdom and you're like, well, the only thing I really care about riding today's Big Thunder, then maybe you'd be willing to shell out $15 to skip the line on that, right? Mm-hmm. But, like, at the same time, it's like, you know, maybe you want to ride all that stuff in a day. It'd be nice to pay like a flat fee and be like, okay, you have access to all.
But there is a flat fee. You keep saying that there's not. There is. You just have to do it for every one. And we don't even know what that system looks like. If it's 7 mouse clicks instead of 1, what's the difference? How is that any different?
Well, no, I'm saying I think you have to book it like whenever you're going to do it. I think it's more of like I don't think it's like FastPass where you pay for it and then they say come back at this time. I think you just pay for it and then immediately get in line and go, right? Like, that's like, so you would do it each individual time, you know?
You think that's how it's going to work?
I think so, yeah. I think that's what it is, yeah.
So, like, you're going to be on the app and you have to click the button and then you go?
Well, it says, from anywhere inside the parks, guests can use the app to book an assigned time slot for select attractions, with prices at launch from €8 to €15 per person per ride, depending on the attraction and day of use.
So you have to hit the button 7 times instead of once.
Yeah, but that's not what
right. Like,
I don't want it to be the same price as that, though. Like, what I'm saying is, I want it to be. It's too much. It's too much.
But then you get into the whole thing again. If it's a cheaper price, then more people are going to do it, and then it's not going to matter, right? And actually, I kind of like this a la carte. I mean, because think about it. Let's just say you go, man, I'm going to do them all. But then you just don't want to because for whatever reason, you're not behooven to have to pay for them all, right? Yeah. I mean, you're going to go and try to do them all. Like, here's the thing. You go to Universal and you have that, right? You have that for the hotel, the skip the liney thing that you pay, you know, whatever. And it's one price but man, I don't even remember riding all the rides.
Yeah.
Anyway, because there's certain things I just don't care about. So why do I want to up cost if I don't want to hit Dumbo or I don't want to hit Big Thunder, right? Like,
yeah, no, I get that
up cost.
That's what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying, but I feel like, dude, it's literally 7 mouse clicks or 7, presses on your phone.
I get it. I get it.
They're not going to make it hard for us to do, right? They're not going to make it hard.
They want to make it easy for you to spend money as possible, like easy as possible. But I guess this also, I feel like it's less harsh of a upcharge when you have the virtual queue in place too, right? Because a virtual queue is not all that much different than a FastPass. It's just you're not getting right into line. You don't pick your time. You just have to come back whenever.
It's a trade-off of time versus money, which
that's what it is.
Is fair, I think.
Yeah, like personally, I don't think that they do this at Disney World without having the virtual queue.
You know what I think would be great, though? I think it would be great if this came to Rise of the Resistance with a cost as well. I would love that.
How much money they would make?
That's what I'm saying.
Much money. Well, they would make much money.
Make it be like 2 rides worth. I'd still be good with that.
I didn't put this on here, but I read somewhere that the VIP tours are now getting access to Rise of the Resistance. So before, even if you did a VIP tour, you couldn't skip the line, but now you can.
Well, and I think that's the way it should be because honestly, as it kind of, sits out there a little bit longer, I know it should make it easier to get access to that. But again, I look at it like for the people that are coming from internationally and are coming once every 3 years. And if they just want to ride that ride, it was funny. My wife was still telling me she has no interest in it at all. She was like, we're in the car and we're kind of talking about it. She's like, I don't even want to go on that. And she's like, I don't even like Star Wars. She's like, Star Wars is stupid. Okay. Right. Like, all right, we'll go on without you. But I think if they did that, that would be something that I would be on board with.
I guess I'm just not against the idea. I just don't think that. I feel like every park does something different, and I don't feel like we can look at what Paris is doing and be like, "Oh, that's what's going to happen in Disney World." Because,
absolutely,
yeah, because they have a whole different set of challenges there than they do at Paris. I mean, it's a whole different thing. That's why do you think Disneyland had Max Pass and Disney World? I mean, they had all these different things because they have different needs, they have different crowds, they have different people coming there. It's a whole different thing. So I think they need to tailor it to the audience, right?
What would you pay for Rise of the Resistance?
I'd probably pay $15 a person. I'd rock that. Yeah, maybe. It's probably too cheap though.
I think it is. Yeah.
I mean, because you could probably get people to pay hundreds for that
for the same amount of time. Because I feel Rise is about the same amount of time as like doing the Void, and we paid
it's a 20-minute experience.
Yeah, we paid $75 a head for the Void.
Yeah.
Just saying.
The way I'm looking at my next trip is if for some reason I don't get on Rise of the Resistance, which we may not because I can tell that my wife is not going to be all involved in that world clock and dragging down at the specific time, right? She just may forget or, the time may just slip by. Who knows, right? I'm just putting it out there that she's not so interested in it that she's going to be all in. Man, when I go to the Star Wars Hotel, I know I'm going on it, so I'm not worried.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
I'm sure that is going to be part of it. And you know what would be really flipping cool is if the Star Wars Hotel does a Rise of the Resistance and it's different.
What, you mean like its own?
No. So it's the same ride, but the actors in it are following along with the hotel storyline.
Like it's a tweaked storyline.
A tweaked storyline.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
I never thought about that, but yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, I mean, listen, I think it'll be interesting to see what happens, right? We've said this before in the show. I don't think any of us expect FastPass to come back to Disney World without some sort of changes, right? I don't know if free FastPass is ever going to come back. Who knows? It might though. It could. I've seen pictures in recent weeks of people posting that they were uncovering the FastPass kiosks. So I don't know what that means, but Probably nothing.
So I'll say this: is I think we were all expecting Harmonious to start instead of EPCOT Forever, and they brought back EPCOT Forever probably because it was easier to bring back something already known versus trying to reinvent things from scratch. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if FastPass came back in its old form for at least a little while, and then
that's possible.
They changed it out in 6 months, right?
Yeah, that's certainly possible, right? Like I think that's definitely a possibility because we know dining plan's coming back. Dining plan might just come back exact same way it did before. I mean, who knows? Yeah. It doesn't necessarily mean that this is going to change, and I think it's going to be a lot harder. I think I said this in the group. I think it's a lot harder for Disney World to rip off the Band-Aid of free fast passes than it is for anywhere else. You have people that have been so used to it for so long. It's going to be hard to just say no more free fast passes. That's going to be a problem. They could do it at Paris, but
I mean, they killed the Magical Express. Just saying.
Yeah, but that's different than FastPass. I feel like because there's other options, right?
No, it's not. There's
other options. So,
but the things existed before FastPass too. Like you can still get in line. You can still pay for VIP tours and all that. It's not. I wouldn't set the precedent of people being used to it as a reason why they'll stop doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I just think it's going to be harder for them to pull that off. But we'll have to see. We don't know.
Yeah.
All right, we're really up there right now. The only last thing I had on here was that
this is brutal. This brings a tear to my eye. Honestly.
That Must Do Disney is gone. Actually, this makes me happy. I was tired of Stacey.
Oh,
I don't.
Really? Are you crazy?
Yeah, I know. Everyone loves Stacey.
Stacey is the best.
She's too chipper and too happy for me. No.
And I agree with you, Damon. I'm not.
Oh, thank you, thank you, Trevor. I only want to lump you in with Tom and probably his wife and his whole family who hate Stacey.
No, I think my wife likes Stacey. I only know one other person that doesn't like Stacey, and that's my sister's mother-in-law doesn't like Stacey either.
Stacey,
it's almost disrespectful, to be honest to you.
Stacey was like that show built so much hype for us over the years. Like, you get there, you're in your hotel, you turn on the channel, and it's like that. It's like the preview for everything that you're going to be doing, right? Even though, yes, it's basically just advertising, but it still hyped you up so much because you knew that was the start of Disney.
Yeah.
Like, or at least for me, that's how it always was, is, you always get to the hotel, you turn that on and you get ready to go.
You would listen to it forever.
Yeah.
It didn't matter if it was on repeat. It was okay.
Yeah. It was just always on in the background, and you could, I think we would watch it because we get there in the evening. And so, we would go around the hotel for a bit and then come back to the room. And, as we're like winding down and getting ready for the next day, we would just have that on. And you'd let it run 4 or 5 times in a row.
I mean, listen, it's not that it was never on in my room. I think I just got tired of it. We watched it too many times. I feel like she's like over the top chipper and happy and positive and like almost too much for me, I guess. I'm not trying to be like miserly either. Like, I feel like I'm being like grumpy now.
No. You definitely are.
No. It's just I don't know. Just always over the top for me.
That was what I needed though for my trip. Like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I needed that over the top, happy excitement.
I love Stacey.
Yeah.
I don't need. Poor Stacey. Stacey's gone now.
Yeah.
Well, she's alive. I mean, listen, let me, she just doesn't Must Do Disney anymore.
Yeah. She apparently posted on I think it was on her Instagram saying, hey, it was great. Thank you everyone for the support. But, obviously these things do change out, and, it was running for 15 years. So fair point.
It was very nice. It felt very like 90s, even though it was 2005. It felt like old. It needed updating.
Yeah. But
that's also partially my beef with it too, is that it needed to be updated.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing about it was that, it needs to stay relevant with things that are opening and changing in Disney World.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still having someone there like that host on the screen kind of selling everything.
Because the new one has nothing, real host.
Yeah, disembodied voice is not as fun as somebody being excited on the screen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the DVC commercial that they have on the things with the Muppet in there? Have you watched that one?
No.
Yeah, there's like a DVC one where there's like a I forget what he's called, but there's they have like a puppet that's talking about DVC.
Yeah, that was on the we got a promo DVD back when we were first looking at DVC, and it was when we watch it, it's the guy talking to the puppet. It was like the cast member and the puppet going back and forth.
Yeah, I forget what his name is.
Robin Phil, is that who you're talking about?
What
is that? I don't remember their names.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of the puppet.
Robin Phil. I'm watching it right now.
Oh, really? Okay.
With the blue puppet dude?
Yeah, the blue with the gray shirt.
It's Robin Phil, man.
Yeah.
You see,
the DVC commercials were always kind of cheesy, too.
It's no Stacey. That's the point.
They need Stacey, obviously, to sell DVC, right? So
yeah.
All right, we should wrap this up. We're really we went longer than I even thought we would today.
Okay. All right. Okay. Do we have
here's the question. Why don't we have our wrap up and our ads just pre-recorded?
Because that's not fun.
Yeah. Because then weird stuff doesn't happen, or we don't, there's not the randomness aspect to it.
Yeah. Like we always do fun random stuff during the wrap up,
Yeah.
You got to have it live. It feels more real, Damon.
The ads too?
Yeah, the ads, not necessarily. But I think sometimes the ads, we interject some stuff in there too. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
You just want to be here less time. You can leave, Damon. Go.
Yeah.
Hey, this is the episode that I'm claiming is going to be the best episode of the year.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Well, I guess we'll have to see. We got to wrap it up first, though.
Okay.
I wish we had old stats, but
We don't.
we don't.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's wrap it up then and see how it all plays out. So,
everyone listen. Make sure and everyone listen twice and listen for your friends.
Right.
And take your friend's phone and download the podcast app and then download this and start it for them.
Yeah. And then subscribe and unsubscribe and then resubscribe and then do it like 10 times.
Well, I don't think you need to
don't
do that.
Unsubscribe. Don't.
No, unsubscribe, but then resubscribe.
No,
that's not good.
And then take their phone and write 5-star reviews for Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah, do that too. Yeah, do that too. I like 5-star reviews. All right.
Okay. So if you guys want to reach out to us, you can always find us at welcomehomepodcast@gmail.com. We get lots of great emails from you guys.
Wait. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Is the email with Dan's song the one that he said it was specifically for Tom?
No, he didn't say it was for me.
Yeah, he did. He wrote us a message that said,
for Tom to look at.
For Tom to look at, and I said, "Oh, sounds super secret." That's what it was.
It's a theme song.
I will never listen
Damon's
to that
Deep
song
Voice.
again now. Sorry, Dan. Only for Tom's ears, I guess.
Well, no, he was saying it because he knows I produced the show, so to add that in. But
Okay.
you should go listen to it.
I can't. I won't. I refuse to now. Sorry. It was addressed to Tom only, and I adhere to that.
Oh, Dan.
Whoops.
This is why we don't pre-record the ending, Damon.
It specifically says, hold on, I got to go back and find it now. What does it actually say?
What do you mean?
What Dan said? He just said he was sending Tom an email.
Well, because he also knows that I'm the only one.
I sent an email for Tom to look at. Didn't say for anyone else to look at, and I wrote "sounds secret," and then there was no response to that. He could have responded and said, "No, it's for everybody," but it said just for Tom. So I said, "Okay."
Oh my gosh! Let's just wrap up.
Yeah. Okay, so as we just finished talking about, if you guys want to reach us, you can find us at welcomehomepodcast@gmail.com. You can send Tom super secret emails, or you can send them to all of us, I guess. Either way works.
Make sure in this subject you write super secret, so I know.
Exactly.
Top secret.
Yeah. And if you would rather reach us on Facebook, you can find us as Welcome Home Podcast. And we also have a Facebook group, which is the Welcome Home Disney Waitlist. A lot of the stuff.
Did we change the name of it?
No, we shouldn't.
Oh, okay.
No, it's
approaching 3,000 members.
It is what it is now. So,
okay.
Yeah, it's past our control.
I would like a new picture for the top, even though we did get one. How long ago was that? I forget.
That was from one of our listeners last year.
It was.
Yeah, from last year, yeah.
Yeah.
I think we need a new one, though, like every year, though, don't we?
Maybe.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess, if people want to start thinking about that and submitting photos, we can.
It's got to have the words "Welcome Home" in it and be semi-Disney-ish.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. So See, again, this is why we don't pre-record this stuff.
So we don't.
Well, no, now I'm making it a point to really just blow it up because of the response that was said.
Yeah. And so outside of the Facebook group, you guys can also follow us on YouTube and Instagram. YouTube is, again, Welcome Home Podcast. Instagram is Welcome Home Pics. As a reminder, as we get back to going to the parks again, you'll find us posting on those channels more. So you'll be able to see, us on trip reports and sharing pictures and stuff. And we also have our store, which is store.welcomehomepodcast.com. You can get the Welcome Home logo merchandise.
Welcome Home shirts and then pretend to be hosts. You could definitely do that.
Yeah, like Jeremy, you can
Kicking Jeremy out of the group. I'm banning him.
So yeah, you can get a shirt there, but also just a reminder again, you can also check out haunted.welcomehomepodcast.com for the Haunted River Country shirt, which is exclusive, as we said at the beginning of the episode. Either when we get to 200
Does anyone have you
listened
this long? Do they remember the beginning of the episode?
I don't know. So good to mention it again.
People do. Yeah.
So 200 shirts or August 1st. Make sure if you guys want a shirt, you get in there and get one before they're all gone. And as usual, if you guys want to leave us a review on iTunes or any other service, please do so. We encourage the 5-star reviews. We know not everyone wants to leave a 5-star review, but Tom would really like that.
I would.
But you don't have to. We just appreciate, honest and constructive feedback. What one-word reviews don't really tell us anything, especially if it's like a random word too. Like that doesn't mean anything to me. So
I mean, if
makes
it's
me sleepy.
If it's a one-word review that is a 5-star and says awesome or something, I'm down for that. Like, yeah, do that. That's cool.
No,
I want more sleepy ones.
Yeah, that's good.
No, it should be like a random word like refrigerator with 5 stars.
Oh, gosh. Don't forget to subscribe to Welcome Home Podcast so you can be reminded every time we release a new episode. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spotify, just about any place you can find podcasts, you can find us. Just search for Welcome Home and the one that says Disney and DVC.
Oh, wait. So interestingly enough, right? So no one is listening this long. So there's no doubt in my mind. But if they are, I'm going to have that interview. What's that? Park Life? The Chip and Dale one?
Oh,
I should have that. Yeah, I should have that soon.
Good.
They wanted to post around the time the show comes out. So maybe later this month. But I had some interesting questions. Even though I'm not a huge fan of that style. I got to watch like 5 episodes though.
Was it good?
I got to watch 5 episodes.
You're not allowed to give reviews?
I'm not allowed to do anything. I got to watch 5 episodes though.
All right. Well, if you watched all 5, I would assume that it was all right. So, just a reminder
like to do my homework though.
Yeah. Just a reminder to our listeners: Welcome Home Podcast is for entertainment only. We are not employed by the Walt Disney Company, and as such, any and all opinions we express on the show are our own. So please consult a Disney cast member or DVC representative for more information about anything we talked about today. Big thank you to DVC Rental Store for sponsoring this episode. Thank you to their continued partnership. Join us next time for more Disney Parks discussion. Of course,
episode 135. I'm trying to push this to 2 hours. Is it going to be 2 hours?
No, I don't know. We don't want it 2 hours. All right. We hope to see you all real soon.
This is Skipper Albert Awol, the voice of the jungle, signing off from Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
Do a huddle when we hit its hair. How she can cuddle is no man's affair. I looked around from pole to pole, found her in a sugar bowl.